Tēnā rā koutou katoa, ko rewe nuna mahau no te tai tokiro, e mahi ana hau ki te wharewananga o Wikitoria. My technical role is helping with palynology or pollen analysis, which is quite an important part of the whole Lakes 380 project because it tells us about the history of the vegetation and not just in the catchment surrounding the lakes, but also some of the vegetation that's growing in and in the margins of the lake. The health of the lake, the mauri of the lake, if you like, is actually intimately related to what's happening in the catchment. If we disturb the catchment, if we clear the forests, for example, if we replace the trees with pasture and we put fertiliser on it, that material is going to end up in the lake. A lake sediment core is a sample taken from the bottom of the lake that goes down through the sediments that have accumulated over time, and those sediments contain lots of material, including pollen. So the lake sediments build up over time, rather like a book with pages and layers that we can turn and read, and they contain information in the form of pollen grains and other materials that have come into the lake that tell us about the environment in which that lake existed at the time. First of all, we start with that lake sediment core and we have to slice it up a little bit, take samples or subsamples as we call them, and then we have to extract the pollen, look at it down the microscope, and then the fun begins really because you're presented with a whole world that existed in the past. It's rather like walking through a time machine back through the forest or some other natural vegetation environment. What has the pollen analysis, the palynology of the Moawhitu sediment cores told us about that te ao tuatahi, the world before people arrived? The picture I have in my mind from the pollen work is of a closed canopy podocarp forest dominated by the likes of rimu, tōtara, matai miro, pretty close to the lake shore. There would have been a narrow fringe of flax, probably wharariki. Raupo was there, some of the sedges in that narrow fringe around the lake. And then further away from the lake, we see evidence of beech forest. So we got a pretty good idea of what that environment looked like. It would have been a pretty special place.